The title is Battling Food Insecurity in South LA, a closer look at Alma Backyard Farms. My name is Mariah Rutiaga, and my project looks into the ways in which Alma Backyard Farms, an urban agricultural site, provides assistance to food insecure families and previously incarcerated individuals through urban agriculture. It also looks at my internship with Alma and my experiences during my 8 weeks there. This is the story and people behind the organization. The history of Alma is heavily influenced by those who were previously incarcerated, at-risk youth, and those that are looking to give back to the community. It started in 2013 with its first site in East Los Angeles. What started as a site to help 5 families has now grown to a 750 square foot landscape that provides fresh food for all. In 2015, Alma opened another site in South LA at a transitional housing facility. The home housed 60 men, and most had served life sentences. This project was a way for individuals in the reentry process to get a sense of involvement through growing food. It was 2,000 square feet, but it's no longer operating. Their biggest site is in Compton, and this is where I did most of my work. The Compton site is home to the farm stand, and now during the stay-at-home orders in LA, a part of the free grocery kit giveaway. And finally, the most recent location is in San Pedro. The site is not open due to COVID, but the food grown here has already been used to fulfill orders for Alma's partners and our grocery kit giveaways. Erica and Richard, pictured to the right, started Alma Backyard Farms. They both had different career paths in mind when studying at Loyola Marymount University, but as their paths kept aligning, they decided to focus on the reclaiming of land and lives through urban agriculture. It started off as a small project fueled by the ideas of formerly incarcerated prisoners and juvenile offenders. And now it has turned into 3 sites that serve their communities every single day. And to the left is the San Pedro site and the Compton site. To the right is Erica and Richard. The red arrows actually depict me, and keep a lookout for them throughout the rest of the presentation. Now moving on to the community served. The constituents are formerly incarcerated individuals, at-risk youth, and families experiencing food insecurity. The areas that they target are South LA, East LA, and now San Pedro. And some challenges faced by people in these communities are food insecurity, rise in unemployment, water quality, and public health. Actually, 1 in 5 people are food insecure in LA, and California is the #1 agricultural producer in the US, yet LA County has the highest number of food insecure individuals at 1.5 million. Cities like Watts and Compton used to be farming communities, but now they are food deserts. And according to LA Foodways, the LA markets have enough food to feed all of LA, but each year waste accumulates and the food insecure individuals remain. At Alma, their goal is no waste, and using youth programs, social media, and their COVID response, they connect food insecure individuals to healthy food. Next, I want to talk about a rise in unemployment. We see that cities in South LA are being hit the hardest during this pandemic, and according to the LA Almanac statistics, LA County's unemployment rate in April was at 20.6%, while cities in South LA were typically higher. Compton had a 22.5% unemployment rate, Ladera Heights at 24.3%, and Southgate at 21.5%. Talking about water quality, in Compton, it started in April of 2018 with the Sativa Water District because they had a contaminated well. Residents to this day still notice the brown water, and this sparked an outrage with Southern California residents. This is how we got a lot of donations to come into Alma, and now we are able to distribute them at our Sunday giveaways. For public health, obesity takes a disproportionate toll on minority populations, especially among African American and Hispanic youth, according to studies done by Sturm and Cohen. Considering this, we can take a look at the racial makeup of South LA to see that this community is most at risk for these chronic illnesses. In 2000, South LA had 749,453 people. 56% of these people were Hispanic and 38% were Black. South Central is most likely the affluent neighborhoods to have big grocery stores and to have less big grocery stores and more fast food restaurants, which is why in 2008 there was an ordinance passed in Los Angeles that restricted standalone fast food restaurants from opening up in the area. And this ordinance is still in effect today. Now I want to talk about how Alma has changed over the years. It actually started in backyards, hence the name. And the idea behind this was that the founders would go into backyards, use them as productive spaces to grow food. But they realized that this was not logical. They then changed the concept and started going into transitional homes, homes that are usually court mandated for former prisoners going through the re-entry process. The homes are supposed to provide additional support for ex-prisoners with the transition from prison to daily life. Erica and Richard became partnered with St. Albert the Great Church when they saw the rundown space they had in the back. Through the church, they were able to sign a lease valid up to 6 years, which gives them more land security and is very rare in urban agriculture. Additionally, partnering up with the church allows them to do programming with the churchgoers and the school kids. Their short-term goals are to finish up San Pedro, Compton, and continue the giveaways for as long as COVID is here. They hope to safely reopen the farm stand to have a selling component, and their long-term goals are to have fresh produce available, guide folks to a life that centers health and wellness, and provide rehabilitation. So what's being done by Alma to address the problems that I talked about before? Actually, before COVID, they had a school to farm youth program, and this got children acquainted with healthy foods and an active lifestyle, and it gave them an insight on the processes and benefits of eating well. It also gave them easy recipes that they could follow at home. The farm stand has recipe demonstrations, and it's open to the public so they can buy their freshly harvested produce. The Urban Agriculture Job Training Program works with formerly incarcerated individuals to teach them technical skills through urban farming to aid them in their job search. And now, during COVID, we have the grocery kit giveaways, which are full of 200 bags that are packed with double-sided hand-sewn masks, different types of produce, soups, and soaps to offset the challenges that have resulted because of COVID. Some of these challenges include the high unemployment rate, loss of produce diversity in stores, and COVID-19 disproportionately affecting people of color. Alma has 3 full-time employees, which are John, pictured to the left, and Erica and Richard. They also have 2 part-time employees. They have program apprentices and volunteers. Actually, with the volunteers, they used to have 300 per year and about 50 repeat volunteers, but now due to COVID, they have 8 to 10 per week that usually help during our Sunday giveaways. The 8 program apprentices are people that aid in the expansion and building of sites, and right now, the distribution at giveaways. Informally, they are known as the Sunday service crew. And through funding, they have private small grants or donations, and they only get a small portion of income through their vegetable sales because you need a lot of land to really get money from that, and they don't have that at the moment. They don't partake in federal funding because the application takes too much time, and they do write their own grant proposals. So by partaking in federal funding, that would mean less time on the farm. And now moving on to my internship experience and how I became a part of the team. I want to start off with this quote by Erica that really encapsulated my internship experience. She said, "To those considering urban agriculture, I say, just do it. Just start it, learn about it, and volunteer. Growing is very intuitive, so you have to get hands-on experience." My schedule matched up with John's, and I was there from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I started off shadowing the full-time staff and asking a lot of questions so that I could be able to do tasks on my own as fast as possible. I had a full-time schedule, and I participated in 4 giveaways, preparing bags, and through the distribution process. I took care of both remote and on-site projects. And because Alma lost volunteers and staff due to COVID, I became a way for them to offset these obstacles and focus on the priorities, our giveaways, and our restaurant partners. And these are some of my daily tasks. So to the left, I actually have what my week looks like, or one of my days during a week that we don't have a giveaway, and then to the right is during a giveaway. So they're pretty different. When we don't have a giveaway, I'll do things like weed, compost, walk through the farm, clean up, and pick up trimmings. And then during the giveaway, I'll do things like package masks, bag rice and beans, harvest, and bundle. Now onto my favorite part of my presentation, my projects. So I was actually in charge of restoring the pollinator gardens. They had not been weeded in months, and I took that project on, and they're pictured to the right, they're before and after. So the project took a couple of weeks, but in the end, the pollinator garden was not overrun with weeds. It had a noticeable path and was not tiring on the eyes. Now I look for weeds every week or two to make sure it does not get to the level of chaos that it was before. Recently, I worked with a member of the Sunday service crew to install the drip irrigation systems on 6 raised beds. We assembled the piping, and together were able to stake the system onto the beds. It took about a day to do, and even though I also worked on site most of the time, I was able to do, towards the end, more remote work. And this included putting Alma's harvest sheets and their recent giveaway information onto spreadsheets. And this is much easier because many people can have access to one document, graphs can be made, and information can be easily shared with donors. Additionally, now we do all our surveys online instead of having them written down, which not only saves us time at the giveaways, but it allows us to see the information as the surveyors are putting it in. And speaking of the giveaways, another project I was involved with was the water donation. So let me go to the next slide so you can see that. On the right, you have me and a couple of other volunteers with the water donations. I'm in the green mask. We got an incredible amount of water donations, and I was on the farm in charge of guiding people to the farm, helping them unload, organizing the water, and maintaining COVID protocol. Small projects that I was a part of during the giveaways was bagging, bundling, and harvesting during our giveaways, teaching new volunteers the best ways to make the distribution and packaging lines go fast. And at our last giveaway, I actually made bags of seedlings, and they had one bean plant, a cucumber plant, and a marigold. You can see that on the top left of my screen. And one of my proudest projects to this day is the seeding of our zucchini on our 6 new rows, which is over here to the left. When I first started at Alma, I actually seeded sunflowers and only a few came up. I was discouraged, but that didn't stop me from seeding. As I kept going on with my internship, Erica gave me more ways to seed, like cucumbers, different types of seedlings like bunching onions, and more sunflowers. Yeah, I was not satisfied with the results. My final seeding was the Costata Romanesco zucchinis for our restaurant partner, Rosblue. I was nervous when I began seeding. Nevertheless, I planted all 6 rows. I was so excited when by the 8th day they had all come up. They're still doing great, and I make sure to do maintenance on them every week. This is our giveaway process, and it can be seen through the pictures. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. We set up the bags, as you can see in the top left picture, and then we sort through them, as you can see with the picture with the red arrow. And then we distribute bags from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. because there's huge lines of cars that line up along Redondo Beach. And then from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., we actually clean up and break bread together. And you can see that at the bottom right picture. This is one of my favorite parts because this is where we encourage each other to keep on going with our days and tell each other what we liked about this giveaway. So my learning outcomes. I actually fortified various interpersonal skills. For communication, I had to adapt several nonverbal cues to guide people through the giveaway process, make it more efficient, and make people feel secure that we were following the guidelines. I mastered my public speaking with my introduction as an intern researching urban agriculture and giving direction to those new to the farm. I implemented problem solving and collaboration when facing my daily tasks. Since I was new to a lot of these things assigned to me, if I made an error, I had to be quick to correct it and move past it. Time management was essential because we were against the sun, high temperatures, deadlines, and low staff. Additionally, punctuality was super important because I didn't want to be under those high temperatures the whole entire day, so I had to get there early, and I had to motivate myself and others to keep on going and pushing through the day. I definitely hope to minor in food studies at Oxy now that I'm done with this internship, and I want to be involved as a development associate with organizations similar to Alma. I learned the limits I can push myself throughout this whole entire process. My time at Alma was full of straining labor, long hours, and changing environments. I had to find ways to maximize my energy and learn how to bounce back throughout the day. I had to challenge myself to find growth and learn from my mistakes. I paid attention to the minor details full-time staff would do and incorporated them into my routine. I asked for tips, and by the end of my experience, even the founders recognized my growth. I was able to be independent in a short period of time to demonstrate my seriousness with urban agriculture and my intent to pursue it in the future. Everything I experienced made me appreciate the growing process and the production of the food that I have every day. Thank you so much for tuning into my presentation. If you have any questions, please contact me at my school email. These are my works cited. Thank you again.